Hello there, my friends. This is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a review of Transformers Legacy United Animated Universe Bumblebee. Now, I don't know about you, but this is my Bumblebee, like my favorite version of Bumblebee. I'm not really old enough to have that many strong memories of the G1 cartoon, and you know, he wasn't in Beast Wars or Armada or anything like that, so he did feature heavily in the original Transformers movies, of course, but you know, he was basically a mute character in that. So animated Bumblebee was essentially like the first real Bumblebee that I got exposed to. And to this day, he remains one of my nostalgic favorites. It's not like I dislike any later versions of Bumblebee, but, you know, he's still up there for me. Now, they're still doing the windowless box. I heard that Hasbro's phasing that out because retailers are getting pissed at them because the toys keep on getting vandalized and they had to send them to damaged goods. But I just like how on the artwork, when you see like his little car, they put this thing on the side of it. Like, they included the 5mm peg and the hinge for transformation on the drawing of his car. Like they're actual parts of a car. Like, hey, do you remember the last time you got yourself one of those small hatchback design things and they have those giant tumors sticking out of the doors underneath the mirrors? Yeah, like, all the cars have that, right? Alright, so the side of the box features some really nice glamour shots of Bumblebee. Like, you got his body with the stingers deployed. You got a really nice headshot. The back shows you the comparison of the robot mode and the car mode. All good. 40th anniversary, yay. And the side, look at the side of this thing. You got animated Optimus, which is going to be awesome. And then you scroll up and you have that. Like the Elasmosaurus from that guy whose name I don't remember. You got our Armada Megatron up there. I see Rescue Bots Chase. I can't believe they made a proper toy of Rescue Bots Chase. That is so cool. I want the rest of the Rescue Bots now. And there's Windblade hidden in the corner. But yeah, this is actually a really good wave that's going to be coming out with a lot of cool stuff. But enough about speculation on the wave. Let's get Bumblebee out of that packaging. So here he is out of the packaging. He looks so cool. This is a really cool interpretation of animated Bumblebee who looks fantastic. And he is a small boy. More on that later. As you can see, he doesn't have that much backpack. And all of his parts are pretty much where they're supposed to be. Like, he has the wheels there on the backs of it, on his shins, on his shoulders. Everything about him more or less seems good. And I absolutely love that head sculpt. It's so perfect. It's so Bumblebee. He has his sideways smirk, which is almost like a Sonic the Hedgehog mouth for how far on the side it is. The lining picked around his face is perfect. Oh, he looks so good. I absolutely love it. He even still has a little light on his back in the same place because this was like a weird civilian police car that was going on. He does come with accessories. He actually comes with the same accessories that the original toy came with back in like 2008. You got his boosters. There's 2 of them, except this time they're completely unpainted, transparent plastic. And instead of being blue, they're a smoky grayish brown. But he does have the stingers, which are done in translucent blue plastic, painted with some silver highlights. On the original toy, these were actually part of the figure. It was a gimmick that he had. More on that later. First things first, we're going to break down Bumblebee as an action figure. So let's check out his posability. His head is on a ball joint for expressive tilt and turning, and then it's on like, look at that. He can practically fly like a superhero. They should make sure that they have this kind of neck joint on any flying Transformer. Like any Starscream, any Windblade, any Transformer known for flying for any reason should have a neck joint this free. Like, all Transformers should be able to do this. Not like, it's weird on Bumblebee because Bumblebee doesn't fly, but we absolutely did need that. Arms, there's a hinge here. It's kind of weird. Like, I expected like this to rotate, but there is no rotation there. That's only a hinge. So like it moves forward on this pin disc. So like that's how his arm moves forward. And then he has below that an elbow joint. And there is a bicep swivel for his elbow. And of course the shoulder can move outwards too. So you can T-pose. The arm has a lot of range. He can actually do that thing where he's like doing the run. Like you guys know what I'm talking about, this thing when a character is running into the screen, like whoo, that thing. He has a waist joint. Ball jointed hips with a lot of range. Well, they're not ball jointed, they're pin discs, but you know, they work the same way. There is a thigh swivel, the knee, solid bend that goes way deep. In fact, that really helps with like the linebacker running pose I was mentioning before. Like, oh man. And in fact, that's where the backwards tilt can go. Yeah! Oh my god, look at that. I mean, you would need like a flight stand to peg into him. Does he have a... well, I suppose you could get something to peg into the 5mm ports to hold him. But like, yeah, this is a fantastic running pose to get him in. Wow, you could legitimately display him that way. That's really cool. And the feet have a little wiggle here at the hip, the heel. And he has ankle tilts, so you can get wide-legged stances. Yeah. Oh man, so fantastically well articulated. Alright, so his rocket boosters can peg into his backpack, just like on the original show. So there you go, he has his boosters. And now onto the stingers. There's actually instructions about how to transform his arms to accommodate the stingers. Which is all well and good when I'm not slamming my hand into the camera. Okay, so how does this work? You know what? This is going to be a lot of transformation that'll take up way too much time, so we're just going to skip it. And there it is, the stinger. Now this may not be accurate to his depiction in the cartoon, as you may recall, where his hands individually turn into these stingers instead of both of them fusing together into one. But it is accurate to his original toy. Yeah, like, also, like, as you can see, this Bumblebee addresses my only two gripes with the original Bumblebee toy. One is the scaling. Like, original animated Bumblebee was way too big for the character. This is the size that a Bumblebee should be. And the other flaw came in the engineering. Like, these panels on his calves, they're held on with a ball joint that is way too loose and pops off way too easily, especially when you're transforming him. And you do not have those in this version of the figure. So the only two issues I had with the original version of animated Bumblebee have been addressed with this new one. And it's kind of cool that you can still pull off the stinger thing. In fact, they look more like the stinger from the cartoon than the original toys does. Of course, you can't always separate the hands. Then this, when you keep his arms straight, the stinger is at kind of a weird angle, but I bet like you can probably manipulate it around. It's because it actually expects you to peg them together, and like that's the little peg hole that it goes into. You can see it's on a slant. Of course, there is an alternate thing the instructions tell you to do. You can put the stinger into the rocket launch, into the rocket like that, and turn it into a gun that he can hold in his normal hand, which I will try to transform out. Yes, it's much easier once you're familiar with it. Then you can give him normal wieldable guns. So, you know, like for like the modern play pattern. So you can have it both ways. You can homage the way the toy deployed the weapon from the original 2008 toy, or you can have a much more generation style play pattern with him just holding guns on 5mm ports. You know, pick your way. Neither one is wrong. The only issue I have build-wise is that there is a lot of transparent plastic painted yellow here, especially on the chest and the backpack, which have a lot of hinges and pins, and I hope that that doesn't mean that this toy is going to shatter to pieces on me later on. But then again, the original Bumblebee toy has some painted over translucent plastic which has held up over the years. Like, I legitimately had this toy back when the cartoon was still airing, so, you know, hopefully it'll hold up. And, so yeah, I guess all the stuff now is to get them into their car mode so that we can see if they properly homage that. And here he is in car mode. The transformation's pretty good. It's mostly intuitive, but the side panels don't really want to line up all that great. I feel like things didn't click into place very well to make those doors. And you know, with how small he is, that hinge and the peg are really obvious. I can see why they just tried to incorporate into the artwork to say, oh, no, that's not just blatant kibble, that's part of the car. Yeah, it's supposed to look like that. He rolls really well, though. Paint matching could be done a little better, but it is pretty good, especially if you compare it to the paint matching from the original figure. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but on the original toy, the painted translucent plastic and the molded yellow are really different from each other. On this one, it's just noticeable to my eye, but it's a lot closer. He has that off-center stripe going down the front of the car, which is iconic to the design. And you can peg the little rocket pods onto the side of the vehicle exactly the same way. Except instead of using a proprietary peg like they used in the original toy, this one uses a standard 5mm port. I guess you could also kind of install them this way, so you can make it look like he's deploying his stingers when he's in car mode. So yeah, you have options. It actually looks kind of badass that way. And I see, like, I'm not sure if that's a peg hole or something. Let me see. Can I put the stinger into that hole in the door? No, you cannot. You cannot do that. So the stingers don't really have a way to attach to the car. Only the rocket boosters do. And it's a pretty nice looking car. Like, it is a great homage to the not Volkswagen car that he transformed to in the original animated cartoon. I believe it was the situation that in 2008, Hasbro couldn't get the license from Volkswagen to use the Beetle like they did in the G1 cartoon. So instead, they went with a car that evokes that shape. I kind of think it's like a two-door Scion. That's what it always made me think of, although I'm not 100%. You know, one thing is good though, like, there's no panels that easily pop off in the transformation. And when you look at the under kibble, like, there's the arms, there's the legs, but the head is much better hidden inside. Like, here, like, Bumblebee did, like, a little torso flip. Here, like, that's his actual torso, which makes the windshield. It's not a fake windshield torso, and then, like, parts of the legs became the actual windshield. So he actually transforms more true to the cartoon than the original toy did, which is, you know, legitimately awesome. So, with that being said, I think that this is another success, and that's great. I like how the Generations line is doing these homages to the classic cartoons like Armada, Beast Wars, Prime, RID, even Rescue Bots, and the toys for them are coming out really good. Fantastic. So, what would Wake Angel 2001 like to see from this line? If you're gonna ask me which characters I would prioritize. So, yeah, let's do a little bit of follow-up with that. Show my choices for my top legacy Transformer choices.